Hello everyone. Alright, so I'm going to briefly go over what this video is about first before I get started. As you may have guessed from the title already, this video is basically gonna go over how to stabilize your Skyrim, okay? And it's not gonna be like a lot of videos out there because I already know that there are videos like this out there, but they tend to be like an hour long almost, and they go really in depth too, and that's kind of not what this video is about. This video is gonna like slack off a lot on the explanations, but it's basically gonna show you how to stabilize your Skyrim quickly as possible and just get straight into modding. So I'm gonna assume you guys already know like what a Nexus, not a Nexus, but what a mod manager is. Two main ones, Nexus Mod Manager and Mod Organizer. For the purpose of this video, I'll be using Mod Organizer. With that said, let's get started. So I have Skyrim freshly reinstalled here. And so every time you reinstall Skyrim, right, the very first thing you want to do is you actually want to stabilize it first before you even start modding. And the reason for that is that it just saves you so much time and like suffering from having to deal with crashes and weird errors and shit later on. So yeah, always stabilize your Skyrim first. I just reinstalled it here, so it's a completely clean install, Legendary Edition of course, so it has all the DLCs, including the official high-res DLC from Bethesda. The first thing you want to do right after a clean reinstall, right, you actually want to download a saved game past the Helgen Cave. So let's just look that up real fast. So something like this, like No More Helgen. You just want to download the saved game, right? And I'm not going to be going over like how to do that because you can just Google that and quickly find out yourself. But yeah, first thing you want to do, you want to download a clean save that's right past the Helgen Cave. And once you've done that, and you've installed it properly, you can just go ahead and start up Skyrim. Of course, it's a clean install, so when you press play, it's going to detect your video hardware. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then click OK. Go to Options. Now, here's a very important part. So, your detail, right? It doesn't matter if you're set to low, medium, high, ultra, whatever. It doesn't matter. Make sure your anti-aliasing and anisotropic filtering are both set to off. So you want to disable those both. And the reasoning for that, and you can click OK once you've done that, and press play and start the game. The reasoning you want to disable those two is because later on you're going to be installing like an ENB, which I won't cover in this video, but maybe in like a future video or something. You're going to be installing an ENB, which has its own like anti-aliasing and anisotropic filtering. And if you have like the default ones enabled, it's going to like conflict and give you a bunch of weird stuff. So yeah, just disable them. Once you're in game, just load up your clean save past Helgen. I didn't download it because I already have one. I forgot to mention that. I already have a clean save that skips Helgen, downloaded from way back. So yeah, just start up your clean save and just play around. You know, run around some grassy areas. And the reasoning you want to do this is because of your Skyrim innies, right? So when you first do a clean reinstall of Skyrim, your innies are going to be incompleted in the sense that they'll have some settings that don't really have a field yet. And by starting up a clean save and just running around and stuff, like just by playing the game, like you'll be able to let those innies finish completing basically. So now that we've started up the game and we've played around with it, we'll have completed innie settings. So that's good. Right. So once you've done that, you want to go to this page here, right? And I'll put a link to the place where I'm about to go in the description too. So I'm gonna just look up Skyrim Ultimate Immersion Guide. And there's this thing called the Skyrim Ultimate Modding Guide on Nexus Mods. And yeah, of course, make sure you have a Nexus Mods account. As you can see, I already have an account and I'm logged in. But once you're here, right? So I'm gonna put a link to this in my description as well. You want to scroll down here to where it says how to start modding and stability. And steps 1 through 10, you want to make sure you follow those. That's very, very important that you follow steps 1 through 10. 11 through 12, these are optional steps and you don't really have to follow them. I always skip them, honestly. But 1 through 10, make sure you follow them to the point, right? You don't skip anything at all. So with that being said, let's go ahead. First thing you want to do, download and install Mod Manager. Choose between Nexus Mod. As I've said, I'm going to use Mod Organizer here. So you want to go to Mod Organizer page, Files, Download. There's two main files. The one you want to get is the installer, right? Download that manually. I already have that downloaded manually, so I'll just go ahead and find that. So mod organizer. And once again, it's the installer. Once you've downloaded it, manually you wanna run it. So this thing's gonna pop up. Click next. Click I agree. And then here, this list right here, right? You wanna scroll down where it says handle Nexus links. Make sure that box is checked. And then click next. File pathing. So ideally, you want to just install Mod Organizer somewhere on the same drive as your Skyrim install. Personally, I like to install it in the exact same directory as my Skyrim. So I'm actually going to install it right into my Skyrim directory here. So let's see. Steam apps, common, Skyrim. And I'm actually going to install it in my data folder. You don't have to do this, but this is just like personal preference. So long as it's on the same drive as your Skyrim, you should be fine. And then click install. And then you wait for it to install, of course. When it finishes, just click finish, and it's going to run it automatically. And these things are going to pop up. Message of the day, just click OK here. Mod Organizer. Here, you can, if you want to, you can click yes, and it'll guide you through like the Mod Organizer tutorial if you're completely new to it. For the purpose of this video, though, so long as you follow along, you're basically going to learn the basics of Mod Organizer anyway, so I'm going to click no here. So here's what you have when you first start up Mod Organizer, right? You have nothing here. For now, just ignore everything. You've already installed Mod Organizer, and that's what matters. So you've completed step 1. Step 2, install skse. Here, you're going to find where it says current build, install via Steam, installer, and all these options. Click on the installer, and it'll install the installer for skse for you. So I've already done that. So once again, let me just find it. Script. Oh, it's called skse. So just run the installer once it's finished downloading. Click yes. It should automatically have your Skyrim directory targeted already. Your main Skyrim directory, by the way. So the one where your TESV executable is located in. If it doesn't, find it and specify it in this box. Because it already did it for me, I'm just going to click next here. Install, completed, and just close. So now you close out Mod Organizer, right? You go to the place where you installed it. So in my case, it's in my Skyrim data directory. So Steam apps, common, Skyrim, data, and Mod Organizer's in there. And you want to run Mod Organizer. So you're basically just closing it and reopening it, and there, bam, right there, it should auto-detect skse for you. So it's going to be right here. And if you click this, it'll give you like a list of your executables too. Just leave it on skse from now on, because you're basically going to always be running the game through skse from now on. So yeah, that's skse. You've completed step 2. Step 3, you want to install SkyUI and also iHUD. So this is how you regularly download mods, right? You go to the files of the mod page, and you just click this green button that says download with manager. And you click whatever pops up. Continue by download, okay. Now the first time you install Mod Organizer and you try installing a mod, it's going to ask for a login. Just give your Nexus login and it should be fine. And click remember so you don't have to like constantly log in. And okay, so I'm logged in. So whenever you click this green button, right, you just go to your downloads tab here and it should show up. And when it's finished installing, it should say this, done, double click to install. So you just double click it and you just wait. And there you go, it's installed. To enable the mod, you just check this box right here. And there you go, it's both installed and it's enabled. So we do the same for iHUD. And this is not with just like iHUD and SkyUI, right? It's with any mod you want to install generally. If there's a green button, just click on it and just continue with downloads. Go to your MO and it should show up in your downloads tab. When it's finished, just double click to install. Okay, check the box. So that's step 3. Step 4, go to Speed and Stability Guide. Download skse ini specifically. So files, we're going to scroll down here. It says skse ini. Download that one. Install it. Make sure it's enabled. That's step 4. So step 5, right? You want to install this thing called loot. What it does is it organizes your load order for you, so you don't get like weird crashes due to load order. So click download loot, and here you want to click on this loot.installer.exe, and that'll start the download for the installer. Again, for the purpose of this video, to save time, I already downloaded it beforehand, so I'm just going to find it and I'm going to run the installer. So working on it. Loot, where are you? There you go. Ooh, I have several installs. So just I'm just going to run the installer, click yes. And once again, it doesn't really matter where you install it so long as it's on the same drive as your Skyrim. So you can create the desktop shortcut, although you don't really have to, and I'm going to be showing you why in just a bit. So just let it run, finish, and it's going to launch loot. Honestly, you can... Okay, so click the OK. Close it, because you don't need to worry about it. What you want to do instead is close Mod Organizer again and reopen it again. So we're just restarting Mod Organizer once again. And just like with the skse, it should auto-detect your loot. So it'll automatically add it to that list of executables. You'll see what I mean right now. So here, you left-click this drop-down again to give you your list of executables, and boom, look at that. Loot is right there. It got auto-detected by Mod Organizer. So that's it. You're done with installing loot. So next step. Step 6, download TESV edit. So some of the mods and stuff that you download sometimes, and even like the base game, you have plugins, right? And those plugins are sometimes dirty. What TESV edit does, it basically cleans those plugins for you. So we're going to install this. There's no green button, so you're going to have to install this manually, right? And in my case, I've already installed it manually from before. So I can just... Oh, it already installed it for me anyways. Okay. So install it, open it up, and it'll give you these 4 files. So what you want to do is you want to make a new folder on your desktop, preferably, because it's easy to find. Just name it TESV edit. And once you've made that folder on your desktop, go here to the actual TESV edit that you downloaded. That opens up to these 4 files. Select all 4 of these files, right? Click them and drag them into your desktop folder that you made. Great. Now you can close this. Now, what you want to do is you want to go to your Skyrim directory. So, your Skyrim main directory, alright? Don't open the data. Just stay in here in the main directory where it says TESV edit executable. Take that TESV edit folder that you made on your desktop and just drag it into the main directory of your Skyrim. And there you go. You installed TESV edit. Now go to Mod Organizer, right? And you're going to add the executable for TESV edit. Now, any time that you add an executable, here's what you do. You go to Edit. And then Title, you name it to whatever you want the executable to be named. So in this case, we want it to be TESV edit. The binary is like where that executable is located. So here, we're going to specify the pathing. We're going to click these dots on this button right here. And it's going to ask for the location of your executable. So in our case, it's in the Skyrim main directory. It's in TESV edit, and there it is. So double click that, and it'll put down that entire path in the binary field, and just click add. Now you can close. Now you select this drop down again, and you'll see TESV edit right there. So that's TESV edit. Step 7, install crash fixes. It's obligatory. Okay. So first, let's install this. And again, we install it like any other mod. Crash fixes, okay, install and enable. Now, here, ignore step 1 for now, just go to step 2, install this one. So just install it. And you can only install it manually. So once you've installed it manually, open it up. And according to the instructions, right, it's going to tell you to drag this thing, this d3dx9.42.dll, drag that into your Skyrim main directory. So once it's in your main directory, you're set. You installed that. Now, these next steps, now we go back to number 1. It wants you to find crashfixplugin.ini. Now, normally, according to this, it's located in your data/skse/plugins, and then you'll find it. But we're using Mod Organizer, which is different from NMM in that Mod Organizer creates like a separate file to keep all your mods in. And this crashfixplugin.ini is a file within crashfixes, which you installed as a mod. Therefore, it's going to be located inside the mod folder, inside your Mod Organizer folder. So see what I mean? You go to Skyrim, right? And you go to, or well, don't have to go to Skyrim, just go to wherever you installed Mod Organizer. You're going to see this folder called Mods. You open it, and it's going to give you all the folders of all the mods you've installed. So crashfixplugin.ini is actually in your crashfixes mod. So you open that, you open skse, plugins, and here you go. Crashfix plugin, the configuration setting, it's an ini file. So double click that to open it with Notepad. Here, you just follow the instructions, use os allocators equals 1, so that's this field right here, set that equal to 1. Next one is custom memory block. Also has to be set to 1, so Control F, find custom memory block, right? Set that to 1. And then the last one is memory info console, also has to be 1. So memory info, and that's already set to 1. So once you've done all those changes as it tells you to, you just exit, click save, and you're done with that. For steps like 6 through 7, it's gonna ask you about this like 90% thing. Just follow the instructions if it's your first time. I've already done this like multiple times already, and I know that mine doesn't exceed 90%, so I'm good to go. But yeah, make sure that when you're doing this that you follow those steps as well. And then step 8, install usleep and bug fixes. So here on usleep, right, there's also a complimentary unofficial high-res patch. You want to make sure you install that as well if you're running the official high-res DLC by Bethesda, which you should have. And you just install both of those like regular mods. I've already installed them manually because they're really large mods and they take a long-ass time, so I already installed them manually beforehand. So I'm going to be installing them manually into Mod Organizer. What I meant to say was that I've already downloaded them manually beforehand. So whenever you want to install a mod manually, right, you click this button right here, and it's going to bring you this drop-down. You just click Install Mod, and you just find where the mod you want to install manually is located at. So in my case, mine is in Downloads, unofficial Skyrim Legendary Edition patch. So just double-click on that, and name it whatever you want, and just click OK, and it'll install it manually. So yeah, that's how you install any mod manually from Mod Organizer as well. And then just, once again, like any other mod, you make sure the checkbox is checked to enable it, and then you install that one. So now I'm going to do the other one. Unofficial high resolution patch. Install that as well. And that's done. And then bug fixes I don't have downloaded manually, so I'm going to have to install it like usual. Just download the green button, and then it will show up on your downloads tab. Double click, open, install it, and then enable it. And that's bug fixes. Step 9 is Papyrus Util. So you just go here, download it like any other mod. Continue with my download, and OK. It's going to finish installing, and it's going to say done. Double click to install. Once again, rinse and repeat, do the same thing. And then step 10, alternate start and live another life. Or alternate start, live another life for Skyrim Unbound. For this one, I personally prefer alternate start, live another life. So what both of these do is they let you skip the Helgen intro sequence. The reason that a lot of people want, or actually the reason why you should skip that, to be honest, is that the Helgen tutorial sequence is really, really like heavily scripted, so it tends to cause a lot of crashes when you're playing through a modded Skyrim. So these two help you skip that, so you don't run into like the weird crashes involved. And again, we already have like a Helgen skip save as well, so both of those can be used. But just to be safe, like install one of these two. I personally prefer alternate start, live another life, mainly because from personal experience, I've had less like conflicts with other mods using this rather than Skyrim Unbound. But I mean, if you want, you can install Skyrim Unbound as well. It shouldn't matter too much. So install that just like any other mod. And again, this bar is tracking progress, so as you can see, it's installing. And once it's done installing, done, double click to install. So do that, enable it. Now we're almost done here. Okay, so we've completed steps 1 through 10 in this how to start modding and stability guide. So we're set on this. Now what we need to do is we actually need to click this drop down menu, left click on loot, and then run loot. So when you're running loot, right, there's the only button you should really care about is this one up here, the one with the 3 horizontal bars that says sort plugins. Left click on that and it'll sort out your plugins in load order for you. So left click that and then just let it run. And this is taking a while actually, but it's whatever, just let it run. When it's done, okay, so here you want to look in the general information. Most of these don't really matter. The only things you want to focus on here is warnings and dirty plugins. So we have 4 warnings and 4 dirty plugins. So your warnings are these yellow things here. And all of them happen to be warning for your dirty plugin. So it's saying that TESV edit found 92 ITM records and 3 deleted references. A cleaning guide is here. It's basically saying that these 4 plugins, update.esm, dawnguard ESM, hearthfires, and dragonborn ESM, it's saying that these 4 plugins are dirty, and it's telling you to clean them. So don't apply yet. Exit loot. So here, I'm going to open a notepad file real fast, just to keep track of the dirty plugins. So these are the 4 dirty plugins that loot told us about. So those are the 4 we're going to have to clean with TESV edit. So go select TESV edit from your executables dropdown, left click on run to run it. First time you run it, it's going to bring open this stuff. Or actually, every time you run it, it's going to bring open this stuff. Now, you'll notice that on this list right here, you'll have all your plugins checked. You want to right-click, and you actually want to select none, right? And you only want to check off the one that you're cleaning, because TESV edit can only clean 1 plugin at a time. So, because we have 4 dirty plugins, right? We have to basically run TESV edit 4 times, each time with a different dirty plugin, because it can only clean 1 dirty plugin at a time, once again. So, we'll start with update.esm, and just check that one off. Click OK. And it's going to give you all this stuff. You just wait until it says background loader finished. Over here on this left pane where it says form ID, just want to select the last one, update.esm, right click it, apply filter for cleaning, and you just let it run. Filtering done, okay. Left click that one, that last one again, right click, remove identical to master records, yes, I'm absolutely sure. And that's done. Now you right click that one again, undelete and disable references. And once that's done, you can just exit. Click OK, and that's it. You're done cleaning that dirty plugin. So now we run it again to clean the next one, which is dawnguard, and it's basically the same thing. So it's always going to be the very last form ID here, the one at the very bottom. So apply filter for cleaning, and then remove identical to master records. Undelete and disable references, and then exit, click OK, and we clean that one. Now we run it again. Next, I believe, is hearthfires. And then the last one is Dragonborn. It's taking a while, okay. So that's it. We cleaned all 4 of those dirty plugins. Now what you want to do is you want to run loot again. And this time when you run it, you sort your load order, right? And look at that. 0 warnings, 0 dirty plugins. So our Skyrim is completely clean. We don't have any dirty plugins whatsoever. So at this point, you've already sorted your plugins as well. So you just left click apply. And that's it. You're done. Exit loot. And that's it. You can just run the game through skse and you can just start modding now. So that being said, I will do more tutorials in the future, but for right now, that's it. Probably the next video is going to cover something with ENVs. But yeah, thanks for watching.